A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Queen's Masters Celltrion 2025 World Championship or Open, depending on how you'd like to call it. But this, of course, is round one. We are coming at you live from the Seongmunan Country Club. It's a par 72 that this course is known for, 5,938 meters. It's a very, very interesting course set right there amidst the hills and very different from those that are right on the waterfront. Of course, having said that, we do have a lot of water here, and that always makes for a very, very, excellent setting, kind of picturesque in its own way. My name is Glenn Mascarenas, and I'm here to take you through this event. Glad to be back in the seat covering, a KLPGA event as always. Lee Chae-yoon, goes off with her second stroke on hole number 7, and I think she's placed that fairly well to get onto the green. It's been a very, very interesting time for us in the KLPGA, and if you've been following it closely, Lee Yvonne has been, the queen bee, or the princess bee, because she's really a petite golfer. Takes it the kind of focus and the kind of intensity that she brings to the course, always very inspiring. Now here's Bang Shin-sil. She'll go in with her second effort on hole number 6. She'll aim for birdie, 10.9 meters to cover. Oh, that's just going to be a narrow miss for her. She'll have to settle for an even score for this one. Sometimes, just that incline can make, such a big difference. Was just looking at, how the leaderboard has panned out on day one, and right enough, the usual suspects are always in there. If you look at it, Lee Ga-yong are currently leading the way. She's, pretty much finished with 6 under, and that's been a very, very good finish for her with 66 points in the bag. Lee Yvonne, of course, is in tied first along with her with also 6 under and 66 points. And this, of course, is, they were among, the dew sweepers. And, we've got a couple of other, golfers in there we'll talk about in tied third. But for the time being, it looks like it's going to be a strong enough effort here for all the golfers involved. Fairly pleasant weather, just what you'd need for a good round of golf. Wind speeds have been fairly high, as you can see the flagstick pretty much doing the salsa there. Aiming for her second on hole number 6. Here's Kim Min-sun. Oh, that is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Just enough to get the fans and, the audience as well into a bit of a tizzy. Lovely finish there. Just what was needed, I would think. So a birdie, getting out from the rough. Well done by, Kim Min-sun. Now here's Ma Da-som aiming for birdie on hole number 7. Ma Da-som has been a bit of a dark horse in her own way, and the way that she's always tapping at that top place finish at the championship win. She's a very strong golfer. Seen her how she's progressed since the last 18 months or so. Absolutely fantastic with her efforts. So, and a big threat to those top golfers, to take that top spot someday soon. Here's Hong Jun-min. Will aim for a birdie on hole number 6. She's got a 2 under score. Had a good start to the day. And that ball, of course, just shy of the dark here. She'll need to tap that in. She too has stellar moments, on the course. Has given us some delightful, comeback performances in the last, few events. So over to Lee Chae-yoon. Just carrying a 3 under score. Will aim for birdie on hole number 7. And gently does it. She She goes up to a 4 under. It's been an excellent start for Lee Chae-yoon. Sunny skies, as you can see, so you know it's always a good thing. Well, 29 degrees Celsius, so it's fairly sunny. You know, a tad bit hot, I would think. But wind speeds have been at about 3 miles, you know, but it does look like it's a lot stronger. And we can see that maybe, you know, it's just kind of increased. You do have, well, you can see the, you know, the green moving behind, and I don't mean the green as in just talking about the foliage. Bang Shin-sil tees off for hole 7. And she's got herself into the cat box. I think she wasn't expecting that. No rain predicted, so that's a good thing. Always a great thing. We've had, you know, a few events which have had spots of rain, and well, it can be a bit daunting sometimes to golfers who do not like playing in tough conditions. Ko Ji-woo looking to finish on par for hole 7. And I think just keeping a calm to do that. Ko Ji-woo also looking, well, extremely smart there with, you know, full black. That's one of the good things when you have sunny days, isn't it? You know, the outfits just change, and there's so much of color, and well, there's light colors and dark colors. So Kim Min-sun teeing off for hole 7, 370 meters to cover. Remember, she did well to earn a birdie in a previous well hole. A little more confidence in that drive, as you can see, that change in body language. She's kept herself away from the sandbox, unlike her group member. So I think that's going to just work well for her. That's always the case with most golfers. Well, just about, you know, a birdie or maybe an eagle, and your confidence levels just go up 85%. Don't know how I got that figure, but Hong Jun-min will tee off for hole 7. 370 meters that she's got to cover. Hong Jun-min, really pretty much the comeback queen. Does not come back and win the championship, but does come back and threaten to win the championship. She's done that a few times in the year. And if you just look back at, you know, how well this year's played out, it tells us a bit of a story. And Hong Jung-min, you know, did win the Krias FNC KLPGA Championship on the 4th of May. Yoo Hyun-jo will aim for birdie on hole number 8, and it's going to be a narrow miss for her. Well, the lady who was queen of the course last year was Park Min-ji, if I'm not mistaken. Lee Chae-young getting ready to tee off for hole number 8. She's had 4 birdies in there, a 4 under score, and I think that's really what, well, you need to get started in an event like this. It's a very, very good, well, morning at the office for her. And yes, it's true, Park Min-ji did win last year's event, with Choi Rim coming in as runner-up and Lee Chae-young finishing second runner-up. 129 meters. It's a par 3 for the asking, going in with an 8 iron, Lee Chae-young. I think it's a fairly, you know, good tee-off for her. She's set herself onto the carpet fairly well. It's all about being able to earn, well, an underscore now. Beautiful layout, as you can see, very picturesque, and especially the green itself, those lovely checkered, you know, well, pattern does make such a big difference. Second stroke here for hole number 7 for Han Jung-min. And certain parts, of course, of the course have just dried a bit with the sun coming up. Bang Chen-sil aims to get out of a tough spot. So he's still onto the rough, just overlooking the green. Will need to find a way through. Meanwhile, Ko Ji-yu gets ready. She'll tee off for hole number 8. Remember, it's a par 3 that we're talking about here. We'll go in with a 9 iron. A 1 underscore is what she's got in the bag. Well, that is a terrific bit of work being put in here to draw yourself close to the tin cup. I do believe, Kim Min-sun just eager to make her mark. She's done well in recent times. Hasn't really been able to tap at the top order. Hasn't really pulled in the tournament wins. But just the fact that you can stay, within the rankings by always finishing a tournament, within the top 10 or within the top 5. And that's a recipe that, golfers like Ma Da-som and Han Jung-min have been, focusing on or following, to a great extent. Ma Da-som teeing off for hole number 8. Well, nicely done there to put that close to the flagstick. Choi rim. The third stroke on hole 9, 86 meters to cover. It's a very pleasant day, as I did mention this earlier. And those dry spots that you can see around the real green, the brownish spots, well, that's where the sun has changed that. It's dried up a bit. Of course, it does get watered. Ko Ji-yu on hole 8, and I think she's just put a bit too much of club into that. Got herself at quite a fair distance from the flagstick. It's going to be an effort for her, to find a birdie, but she just might be able to finish with an even score. Meanwhile, Bang Chen-sil, her third effort for hole number 7, and if she can nail this well, then she'll just get up the points table. One of the best things for me, a rockery which kind of resembles a waterfall. I always love these. I used to have one in the corner of the old office that I used to work at, and well, those days when you're really stressed, you can just spend a bit of time sitting there, and water has this calming effect. I do love the way that this one's put together. Very beautiful. I think there's going to be a bit of caution here because of the wind. As you can see, it's she'll have to keep Lee Chae-yoon will have to keep her putt very steady, and that was definitely going to play a part. Slight bit of a slope there going downwards, but more importantly it's the wind that would play truant, and I think she'll have to settle for an even score. It's going to be a Cuban for her. I do think she'll need to work a little bit just to keep that well even. Not too much of worries here, just a light tapping, finish the job, and that's pretty much what she does. So Choi Rim, finishes front nine with a 34. She's had 2 birdies in there. Not too many worries, nothing negative so far, and I think that's will just work in her favor. Yu. Well, would have bogeyed that one, but I think she's just got herself into a bit of a tight spot. If she finishes the next effort well, then it'll be a double bogey for her. Lee Jae-young. I don't think she'd be too pleased with that, but she'd just have to accept it and move on. Well, like all the golfers. But sometimes you do know that you can do better, and then when you kind of just, it slips you by. It tends to be a very... Hong Chun-min will aim for birdie on hole 7. She's got a good amount of distance to cover. There's a bit of a, slope moving towards the left downwards, and I think she'll have to navigate through that. There you can see that ball just bent towards the left. Choi Yun-woo, a second stroke for hole 10. She's going in with a 7 iron. She's got a 1 over that she's carrying here. I don't think that she... Oh, that is just stunning. That ball, just not afraid of the dark, but really, really scared of the dark. How often do you have a ball that just sits on the rim looking into the tin cup, and just lands plumb there? Ko Ji-woo. Oh, that's going to be a bit bad for her. She's missed out on a buzzard as well on the 8th hole, and I don't think that's going to work. It's just been a bit of an undoing for her. I can't help but feel a tad bit awful for Ko Ji-woo. To have a triple bogey, always a bit of a worry. Kim Min-sun aims for birdie on hole number 7. she's played that well. Well, actually found her stride here today. You know, started off just normally, but she's just, well, getting more and more confident. You can make out by her body language. Her very meticulous in the way that she's approached, you know, each and every hole. Madasom, chance here for a birdie on hole 8 and to just improve on the score. And that's what she does. So it's a 2 over for her now. I think she started out, she had 3 there, but that birdie will serve her well. And for the first time breaks into a smile. It's a bit of relief for her. So easy tap in, that was what was needed to finish. Here's Bang Shin Sil. She's on her 7th hole, looking to finish with an even score here. And that's to maintain her 2 under. Oh, just, I think a tad bit impulsive with that push. And she landed up bogeying that one. Well, she actually had it covered, just a bit too much of a push on that putt. Lee Chae-yoon 2 will finish with an even score on hole 8. She'll keep her 4 under score intact. Very, very good start for her this morning. Or should I say, late morning. Lee Dong-gyun. The 3rd stroke for hole 10. She's carrying a 1 over here. Oh, that's nicely done. And she'll bring herself to an even score. I think so important after she had, you know, a buzzer in there previously. She had 2 bogeys as well. And her 4th birdie just nullifying everything for the time being. I do love the color of blue that Lee Dong-gyun is wearing. It's a very rich blue. Yoo Hyun Jo. 3rd stroke for hole number 9. Marvelous effort here from Lee Hyun Jo. After she had a bit of a worrying previous effort. I do love the colors here as well. As you can see, the waters, you know, resembling that dark blue with the green hue on the edges, and then of course the different shades of green, and especially at this time when it's summer and, you know, a lot of the areas do dry out and you know, get that muddy brown color. It even adds to the beauty and highlights the actual green and the course of the fairways beautifully. So Kim Min-sun 7 will tee off for hole number 8. She's going to go with a 9 iron. She's had a very, very good start this morning, and you know, her body language, as I said, has been so well telling of what you can expect from her. Well, she's put that onto the carpet, but I do believe she'll have to work for a birdie. Up next, it's Hong Chun Min. Goes in with an 8 iron, putting a good bit of arm and wrist into that, and I think well, she too has put herself at a fair distance from the tin cup. Park Bo-kyung. Well, a 4th effort on hole number 9. Langshan Sil will tee off next for hole number 8. Well, the wind speeds have just increased a lot more, as you can see. It's been well, quite well windy, to be precise. Lee Chae-yoon will go up next to tee off for hole number 9. It's a 4 under that she's carrying. Remember, well, hole number 9. Well, she does get a bit of applause for that. I think she's going to drive a good bit of distance onto the fairways, and yes, she has. She's actually got herself well into a very, very good position. Very nicely done by Lee Chae-yoon. Hole number 9 is, of course, you know, a bit of a, well, a daunting hole. It's quite a distance to cover. If you can get a good bit of arm, you know, behind that, get your body, you know, into it to power that drive, it does make a huge bit of a difference. Choi Ye-bun will tee off for hole number 1, 344 meters to cover. She's got an even score so far. Got to thank, you know, our cameraman for those shots, you know, and our lads who operate the drones as well. I do love, as I said, that rockery, absolutely stunning. Well, just a reminder once again, in case you've you know, just joined us, it's Kim Min-sun 7 who will aim for birdie on hole 8, and this is the 2025 Celltrion Queen's Masters being played right here in Wolseong-ri, Wyeonju, South Korea Republic, and we are coming at you live from the event. It's been a very, very easy and pleasant start for most of the golfers. Not too many worries in here, and those worries, of course, do come with weather changes. I think the weather has changed a tad bit, but not so much to upset the apple cart, you know, for the golfers. Needs a good bit of focus and planning in there. Park Bo-kyung looking to finish on par for hole 9, and she will have to settle for a bogey. There's no doubt about it. Meanwhile, Lee Chae-yoon gets herself into open ground. Will be her second stroke for hole 9. Remember, it's a par 5 for the asking, you know, and she got herself onto such a good distance on the fairways. Hole 9 can be a bit of an odd hole, you know, when you're thinking about it. You need to go right over the bunker, which she did, to avoid the right dogleg hole, and then, of course, you got a bunker in front of the green, and it doesn't really give you a good view of the green. It kind of is a bit of an obstacle. You need to bypass the left side of the fairways with your second shot, and I think that's what Lee Chae-yoon did. Yoo Hyun-jo next aims for birdie on hole number 9. And she'll be happy with that finish. Well, that smile says it all. Just a bit of joy for her. Always a good thing to see our golfers smile. Hong Jun-min aiming for birdie on hole number 8. Still at a fair bit of a distance, you know, from the destination. Jun Sung. Second stroke on hole 10. Bang Chun Sil aiming for birdie on hole number 8. That's going to be at a fair distance still. Shouldn't have a problem, finishing on par. Just sharing a joke with her caddy. Hong Jun Min is up next, looks to finish on par for hole number 8. That's just well, that's probably the most stubborn ball of the morning. Lipped out entirely. Hong Jun Min will accept it gracefully. Choi Rim onto hole number 10. Kim Min Sun 7 will aim to finish on par for hole number 8. And I think a bogey was out of the question, but now it is. That's what she'll finish with. Just a tad bit surprised by that. Well, there's always going to be bumps in the road, and Kim Min Sun 7 just hitting one. Meanwhile, Lee Dong Gyun onto a second stroke for hole 11, needs to get herself up from an even score. 75 meters to cover. She's going to go with a 54-degree wedge. That's extremely well done by her. Lee Chae-yoon 2. Third stroke on hole 9. She's got a 4 under in the bag. Driving herself more towards the border of the green. It's got to be a long journey to the tin cup now for her. Bang Chun Sil. And I think she'll be glad to just get that, done with. A quick tip of the visor. Go to you. Carrying a 2 over. Remember, she had a triple bogey. A lot better this time. Oh, beautifully placed. Nice comeback from her. Yes, Choi Rim needs to get off the rough and into the tin cup. Can she do that? Well, I think she'll have to settle for an on par. Needs to nudge that in. Does acknowledge the applause Hong Chun Min. She'll tee off for hole number 9. Par 5 for the asking, 475 meters to cover. Remember, we said this is a very tricky hole. Hong Chun Min still on the out. That'll be the last hole for her on the out. Chun Yi Sung, her third stroke on hole number 10, or her putt right now for a birdie. Well, confident push from her, and I think that wind just carrying it forward just enough. Well played. Absolutely well played here. It's been an interesting morning here for her. And I do believe there's a lot, to account for when it comes to, well, our golfers have been going about their, business at the office. Bang Sil tees off for hole 9. And with hole 9, you can't afford to get yourself caught in those traps. I do believe she's got herself into a bit of a spot there. We'll find out as we, get along. Don't think she'd be too happy with that drive. Was just talking about this color almost bordering on kind of indigo, but do love the outfit that Lee Dong-gyun has. It's just stands out. Aims for birdie on hole 11. So needs to plan this well and take her time. And just a very, very narrow miss for her. Ball just kissing the rim. Here's Kim Min-sun 7. She'll tee off for hole number 9, 475 meters to cover. Lee Chae-yoon 2. Was trying to drive that to its the destination. Bang Shin-sil going in with the provisional ball. Remember, she went straight into the thicket there earlier. And I think, it's been a bit of a worry for her. 2 out of 2 in there. Somehow the other just managed to get it in the same direction. Oh, I do love this green. Absolutely stunning, isn't it? Pretty much like one of those, terrace plantations. Sits on a great bit of a height, and then of course you've got that beautiful stretch of water there. Absolutely stunning. I do love the way this is. I do love hole number 9. It's really quite a pretty hole to look at from, from a wide angle. Koji Yu. She's just been struggling a little bit every time she gets onto the carpet, but otherwise her approach has been fairly good. And I think that she'll just have to take off her cap and put a thinking cap back on. Lee Dong-gyun will tee off for hole number 12. She's using an 8 iron. That's beautifully done by Lee Dong-gyun, and she'll be thrilled about that as well. Lee Chae-yoon too, looking to finish on par for hole 9, and that's exactly what she does. I think she's just kept her, head above the water for most part. And she's got her sails, fixed on right to go with the wind, and I think that's what's working in her favor. There's a good bit of rock on the sides, and that's also part of the construction. There's a landfill there, as you can see. There's definitely development around this area, and probably the next year we'll see an entirely different course. Remember, this course opened in 2022. Hong Jun-min. Second stroke, and I think within just 2 years it was in the top 10 golf courses in Korea Republic. That was last year in 2024. So it's a very well regarded course, the Seongmunan Country Club, and the reason for that is just the layout, the upkeep. It's fairly different from what you would call the regular kind of cliched courses which have pretty much similar hazards or similar layouts. This is very different. Here's Kim Min-sun 7, the second stroke for hole 9, an elevation of 10.8 meters needed, you would think. I think she's kind of kept herself well in good stead this morning, but left to be seen how she finishes off day 1. Well, things do change, and here we have a bit of a worry for Bang Chun-sil. The first stroke, and then went with the provisional ball, and on a second drive she pretty much landed up in the same spot. Well, sometimes destiny has its own pathway that's carved for you, and no matter how you try to take your foot off it, you still land up at the same destination. Well, that's pretty much what's happened to Bang Chun-sil. However did she get into that spot? Well, that's a bit of a mystery, and pretty much the same area actually the second time around. So it's a bit unfortunate for her, but she will have to drop points. Just a bit of advice there from a caddy as well.
나는 차라리 이걸
볼 조심하세요.
거기다 뒤쪽으로 물러나세요.
왜냐면 진짜 엄청 말 그대로 볼 막고
거기
여기
뒤로 물러나세요. 볼 막고 이쪽으로.
네. 앞에 돌이 있어.
그러니까.
Looking to get herself out of a spot now.
오케이.
Life can be a slope sometimes, and Bang Chun-sil looking to dominate it. Well, that's a position that I'm so used to seeing normally, sheep on the sidelines in a place like Wellington or in New Zealand. Bang Chun-sil. It's a second stroke, remember. She's had, she needs to work this well. 255 meters to the hole. Had a bit of a chilly dip there, but I don't think that's going to matter too much. And just replay of that. Well, she had to ground herself well. I think she's done well to get herself, well, I would say out of that, but it's that, that thicket not allowing her to get out. She needed to get onto the fairways, grounded herself well, but it's just an obstruction of the surface, and it can make it a bit difficult.
아, 58도 괜찮긴 한데 이게 좀 나가요.
I think a quick word there with the caddy.
어디로 나가요?
앞쪽으로 그냥 너무 왼쪽으로 안 나가고 그냥
근데
앞으로
이게 들어갈 수 있는 게
들어갈 수 있는 방향이
나이가 너무 이게 안 들어. 뒤에 풀이 있어. 뒤에 풀이 있어.
Very good opportunity here, to turn things around. Here's well, Bangchan Sil needs to get it right this time, needs to get onto the fairways. And I think that's rebounded off and pinball for her. She actually got it straight back into the thicket, but that's bounced well off, that bit of a rocky region where there's, no well growth, and that's exactly what happened. Just bounded off that, couple of taps, pinball. And I think applause for that. She's got herself out of that at least, and back onto the fairways, back on track. So that'll serve her well. Lee Dong-gyun will aim for birdie on hole 12.
Nice.
And good bit of applause for her. Lee Dong-gyun also, finding a stride now after she had, pretty much a neutral morning to start off with. But here's the young lady in focus, Bangchan Sil, a golfer. She's on to her 4th stroke. Needs to really navigate through this well now. It's the 9th hole. If she can get away with even a bogey, I think that's going to work well for her. Now she stayed off the cat box there, so definitely a chance of finishing here without sacrificing too many points. Lee Chae-yoon gets ready to tee off, and this is going to be interesting. It's hole number 10. It's a par 4 for the asking. Not a bad spot, I would say, on the fairways for her. She's been in good stead right through this morning. Well, doing fairly well there to get herself closer to the flagstick. I think she'll be a Kimminson 7. Hong Jun-min. Here's the current leaderboard. Lee Ga-yong and Lee Won still there and tied first with that 6 under. Soji, Seo Jun, Hyoda Bin, Kim Min Byul, Jeong Yoon Ji, and Lim Hee Jong with 5 under and tied third. They've all finished their day's event. And then you've got that tied 8th in there with Yoon Sung Jung, joined in by, well, a couple of other golfers. And it'll be very, very interesting to see how this day pans out, because there is so much, to take from it. But really the dew sweepers and the dawn breakers really doing their bit to, well, kind of confirm their spots right there, at the top. Stay with us, don't go anywhere as we continue with our coverage of this beautiful event, which, of course, is the 2025 Celltrion Queens Masters being played at the Seongwon Country Club. Don't go anywhere.
안녕하세요. 아이브리지닷컴 소속의 한빛나 프로입니다. 아직 많이 부족하지만 앞으로 더 열심히 해서 내년에도 꼭 뵐 수 있도록 열심히 하겠습니다.
Hanbitna teeing off for hole 1. You can see, parts of that area which has been sliced off the rock and very beautiful to look at. If you like construction and you like development, Bang Sil will aim for a bogey on hole 9. It's been a very, very troubling hole for her. And it will be a double bogey for her. Well, you can have a decent start to the day and then, things can always take a U-turn or a detour depending on how a particular hole becomes your bogey hole, literally, pun intended. Here's Lee Dong-gyun, second stroke for hole 13. Kim Min-sun 7 aims for birdie on hole number 4. On hole number 9, sorry. That's her fourth effort. Just a bit too much of push on that. There was a slight, bend towards the left needed. And I don't think she's going to be too concerned about that because she's just finished with an, even score. And I think that's what her words to her caddy would have been. Better even than positive. Kang Jung-hyun, he's off for hole 1. She's got an even score on there. Lee Chae-yoon 2. Got herself close to the hole. And finally, I think it's over and done with. It's been her trial for the morning, Bang Sil. It's been a real hard event for her and she knows it. Hole number 9, totally her outdoing today. So the current leaderboard as it stands, Lee Ga-young and Lee Won still right there, tied first with 6 under. Si Ji-yoon, Hyo Da-bin, Kim Min-byul, Jung Yoon-ji and Lim Hee-jong in tied third with 5 under and an overall score of 67. And then of course you've got Choi Hai-won, Yoon Soo-ah, Park Hae-jun and Lee Chae-yoon who are in tied 8 with 4 under. Lee Chae-yoon is still very much in there and she's got a very good opportunity to improve her standing and finish probably at the top of the heap today if she can, hold her own. Left to be seen totally. Hong Jun-min, her second stroke for hole number 10. She's got a 1 under score so far. 366 meters is what we're looking at. She goes in with that 8 iron. Bit of a chilly dip there for her. She did get, well, she did cover a good bit of distance. Has got herself onto the green. Lee Chae-yoon, she's been the golfer in focus, and if she can really stand her ground, I think she'll go places with round 1. Here she is teeing off for hole number 11. Remember, she's got a 4 under that she's carrying. It's a very good, front 9 for her. Kim Min-sun 7 onto her second stroke. Lee Dong-gyun aims for birdie on hole 13. And Lee Dong-gyun has done well. Bang Chun-sil onto a second stroke for hole 10. It's a decent wide angle shot just to show Park Bo-kyum as she goes through her second stroke, 102 meters to cover. That's for hole number 11. She's done fairly well with that. Kim Min-sun 7 will aim for birdie on hole 10. She's had a fairly decent morning, and I think with that position that she's currently in, shouldn't be too much of a worry. It was excellent placement from her onto the green, in a previous stroke. And well played by her as she goes up to a 2 under. Bang Chun-sil aiming for birdie on hole number 10. Well, I think she's just going through the motions this morning. Had a really awful, had a really awful 9th hole. And I think she'd like to totally put that behind her.
나이스 버디!
Nicely done here. Haven't seen too much well of her today, but we will be seeing a lot more as we get through this event. Now Hong Jun Min is up next. She'll aim for birdie on hole 10. Well, almost getting close enough if you ask me. Sun's come out a bit more, and don't often see Hong Jun Min with shades on, but the sun has come up quite a tad bit. Now Lee Chae-yoon onto a second stroke for hole 11. As I said, she's the golfer in focus here now. Got herself just off the green as she sits on the border. Hong Jun Min next. Looks to finish on par for hole number 10. Not a bad way to get started. Mara Som, second stroke for hole 11. Oh, that's a very, very confident effort from her. Very positive. She's got herself onto a good spot on the carpet, and I think that that's exactly what she would have wanted. Hong Jun Min will have to settle for a bogey. It should be too tough to finish this off. And yes, she does on hole number 10. A bit of an undoing for her as she gets to an even score now. She's had a tough morning. Bang Shin-sil looking to finish on par for hole 10. And Bang Shin-sil, I think, will have to just pull up her socks and probably get a little bit stronger as she goes along with round 1. Now, yes, Park Bo-kyung teeing off for hole 12. I think she'll be fairly satisfied with that effort. Ko Ji-yu onto a second stroke for hole 11. She too has had to, battle against the odds.
좋아.
Kim Min-sun 7. Will tee off for hole number 11. And that's well done by her. She would think better than, a few wins that she's had recently. Well, she hasn't really been at the top of the game this in 2025, but I think she'll definitely be looking to, uplift her performances. Wonderful golfer to watch. Now here's Bang Sil. As she tees off for hole number 11. She's had a disastrous morning. There's no doubt about it. And, I'm sure she'll be trying to, well, just change things around here.
자, 플레이하겠습니다.
Well, Hong Jun-min herself has gone through the motions a couple of times today. It's been a bit of a, well, odd day for her. Not the usual, well, great starts that she's normally had. Lee Chae-yoon aiming for birdie. She'll have to settle for an on par once again, and I don't think she's going to complain too much about that. Here's Lee Dong-gyun onto a second stroke for hole 14. Going in with the 50-degree wedge. Lee Dong-gyun has done well. Ko Ji-yu aims for birdie on hole 11. Marathon on her 11th.
내가 이렇게 잘 떠도
Wang Yumin, been missing her second stroke for hole 12. She'll clean it up nice and easy. One of my favorite golfers. I do love to watch her in action. She's, well, such a talented golfer, has her ups and downs, and I do believe sometimes when you're just a point away from being pitch perfect, there's always an endearing side to a golfer, and she's a favorite among most of the golfers as well. She's a terrific, I'd say exponent of the game. Now here's Lee Dong-gyun, aims for birdie on hole 14. She's done fairly well in the last few holes. 2.9 meters. Needs to approach this carefully. That's exactly what I meant. It was going to be a bit of a worry there with that slight slope. I think an even score for her will still be, the recipe for the time being. Bang Sil onto a second stroke for hole 11. And that's a fine finish. She's had an interesting morning too as well. Kim Min-sun 7 going on to a second stroke for hole 11. Hong Junmin is up next. She's got herself onto the rough. Marason tees off for hole 12. Ko Ji-yu up next there. She'll tee off for hole 12. She's carrying a 1 over score. I don't think she's going to be too concerned about the fact that she's done, fairly well to start off. And very well placed. Very, very well placed this time. Picture of concentration here, Lee Chae-yoon. She's really focused well in this event, and I do hope that she stays consistent right through it. She tees off for hole 12. She's all smiles for the camera. One thing I do love about the golfers, they always, well, 9 out of 10 I would say, have a smile for the camera, even when their performances are good or they aren't, and that's always a joy to watch. More power to the ladies here. Kim Min-sun 7, her third stroke for hole 11, 32 meters to the hole. A birdie definitely might be out of contention, but hey, I've been proven wrong every time. Well, she does fly past the tin cup. She's going to have to work a little bit to, pull that back. But very interesting way to, get started. Here's Lee Gaiyong and Lee Won still, occupying the top of the table there with that 6 under. Seo Ji-yoon, Hyo Da-bin, Kim Min-byul, Jung Yoon-ji, and Lim Hee-jong with 5 under in tied third. And these, of course, golfers have finished off, their day's event. The only one who's still in there in that top 8 and with the tied 8 is Lee Chae-yoon. She's just got through, hole 11. It will be interesting to see how she actually, changes, her approach or how she performs going ahead. So very interesting, round one for us in this very event, which is, the 2025 Celltrion Queen's Masters. And I think it's even more interesting to see how, the day progresses. We've still got a few, ladies in there who've done exceptionally well. And it will be interesting to see how exactly, they come to, the party going on to, day 2 or round 2. But I think most of the golfers would be happy. As I said, Lee Yvonne, once again, a huge contender in there. And it will be interesting to see how she, performs going ahead, especially in round 2. All eyes will be on her, and that is for certain. Beautiful setting, as you can see. I've always said this, in the good old days, you had to take a helicopter up with the cameraman. He had to, keep a nice life jacket on or, be strapped in so that he wouldn't have to move. Today, drone shots just make it so much easier. Absolutely love it, especially on golf courses when you can actually get a good view of, some of the holes as well as, the entire layout of that hole. Now, Lee Chae-yoon with her second stroke. Oh, that would have been a 10 on 10 for me, but well done there. I do love the color of the ball, by the way. I don't know if everyone will always favor white, but I do love the color of the ball. Neon green for me, or lime green, always fantastic. And Lee Chae-yoon will settle for an on par here. I don't remember, but at one of the courses, in Korea Republic, I can't just put my finger on it, but we'll get to that later. Bang Sil aiming for birdie on hole 11. Well, almost nailing that. Almost nailing that, if you ask me. And I was just saying this, one of the Lee Dong-gyun teeing off for hole 15 will go in with a power wedge. She's still stuck at that 2 under. I'm sure she'd definitely like to change things around a little bit. One of those golfers who always keeps a very serious approach, a very sincere disposition, on the golf course. Very different temperament, but she's always, being fairly consistent. Doesn't really dip in performance, doesn't rise too high as well, but some days. Kim Min-sun 7 looks for an on par finish for hole 11. 7.6 meters to travel. And that'll be a Cuban for her, no doubt about that. And I was just saying, if you look at the way that, Mada Som has come along in her event today, she'll aim for a birdie on hole 12, a chance to get onto an even score, and just a narrow miss for her. Just a while back was saying one of the golf courses does, at the clubhouse you get a fantastic key lime pie, and I don't know which golf course it is. And every time I look at the ball today, which is that neon like lime green, and I'm just reminded of that. Choi Yun-woo will tee off for hole 15. She's down to an even score. Key lime pie, one of the greatest things in the world, especially if I'm ever feeling down. Just love it. But in Korea Republic, one of the courses, it's probably the best key lime pie that I've eaten. We'll try and remember which clubhouse that was at. And that's beautifully struck. Just goes past, the destination. But I think Choi Yun-woo will be happy with the way that she's teed off for this one. Put herself in good contention of a birdie here. Meanwhile, here's Ko Ji-yu. Actually had set herself up for a birdie so well. It was such a fantastic tee off, but will need to settle for an even score. Now here's Hong Jun-min. Looks to finish on par for hole 11. That is the talent of Hong Jun-min. If she hits a stride, she'll hit it. But just a narrow miss here. And she's done that so many times. Falters a bit and then comes up with some stellar finishes. Here's Mada Som. And she will settle for an on par for hole number 12. And she'll be glad to have got that done with. So over to Lee Dong-gyun. Aims a birdie on hole 15. And that's finished well. I think, an even score for her will just kind of, be a better option than finishing with a bogey. And that's something that I think most golfers will agree with. Bang Sil will tee off for hole 12. She's still carrying that 1 over. Well, in spite of the fact that she had a disastrous hole number 9, she's actually pulled herself back together, and that's really the resilience of an excellent athlete. A very good tee off this time. And that's found its way through. Beautifully done. Well, that lookout point, really fantastic, isn't it? Yes, Kimmonson 7. She's on to hole 12. That's fairly well here to put herself onto the carpet. One of the things, of course, that has been a bit, worrying for a lot of the golfers here today has only been the wind conditions. Otherwise, the weather's been absolutely fantastic. Lee Chae-yoon will tee off now for hole 13. She's looking to cover 345 meters. That's a par 4 for the asking. There's a fairway that is kind of long diagonally and touches the wide water surface. Got to avoid that wide lake, and that's the key. And I think Choi Rim will move on to a second stroke for hole 14. It's well played by her. Yes, Park Bo-kyung will aim for birdie on hole 13, and that's well done. Keeps the calm. Just enough of a push required. She's had an interesting morning as well, and she'll accept that gracefully. Got a bit of a, sway in a step. That's great style always. High rim. That's the second stroke for hole 11. Placed that fairly well. Kimmonson 7 onto a second stroke for hole 12. Hong Jun-min up next. She's on to her second stroke, which is of course aiming for birdie on hole number 12. Almost well done there, almost well done. Joy Rim will aim for birdie on hole 3. And she's done well. She's done very well here. And quick appreciation as well from, you know, the audience, and I think that that's really good. Yen Hai Rim will aim for birdie on hole 11. As you can see, the wind, well, actually pushing against her. If you look at the way the flag has been moving, and that's why the resistance needed just a bit of a stronger putt, but the direction also would have mattered. We'll have to just settle for, you know, an on par finish here. And that's really where you need to, you know, dig deep against the conditions like this. I'm just going to check on the wind speeds. You know, there's been a bit of a change since we started off the morning. It was about 3 miles, you know, earlier. And definitely, well, things have changed. If you're looking at the shades coming on, you know, easy for me to be, you know, sitting back, you know, in air conditioning, but 30 degrees Celsius, that's what the temperature currently is outside. And, well, the wind speed's up to about 4.4 miles, and that's the difference. You can see it's a lot more, especially if it's working against, you know, Bang Shin-sil. Chance here for a birdie. Oh, and I couldn't be happier for her. You know, what a relief. A bit of leverage as well as she gets to an even score. So Bang Shin-sil's done well here. It's Leaderboard who's well on to a third stroke for hole 18. Bang Shin-sil did have a good start to the year. You know, she capped off the 4th event of the year and the 3rd in the KLPGA in Korea Republic, where she won the next St. Nine Masters. Kim Min-sun 7, looking to finish on par for hole 12. And she's done well here. So the next St. Nine Masters was won by Bang Shin-sil. It was a 100 million, you know, Korean won event. That was on the 20th of April. Lee Chae-yoon is up next. Second stroke for hole 13. We'll go in with an 8 iron. Done fairly well here, you think, but no. She's hit the water hazard, and it definitely looks, those ripples will tell you a bit of a story. Don't think, well, she's had such a lovely morning, and well, just a bit of a wet spot for her, literally. So, and this is pretty much the hole-in-one event that we're looking at. It's hole number 15, Choi Rim will look to get through this. front of the green, sits on a ridge beyond the deep valley. It's blocked by a bunker. At the back there's a cliff. Now Choi Rim has done very well to get herself onto the green. Since the back of the green cannot be judged, it creates a kind of an optical illusion, so you want to stay on the green and not get beyond that. Definitely no airmail for hole number 15 required. Koji Yu, second stroke for hole 13. Lee Rowan, fourth effort for hole number 18. She aims for birdie. And that will be a narrow miss for her. Well, had a stroke penalty here, Lee Chae-yoon, after she hit the water, and well, she just might land up bogeying this one. She'll need to save points, but meanwhile, Koji Yu moves forward to her next move. So, a bit unfortunate here for Lee Chae-yoon. She was just shaping up to be, well, the finest golfer of round one. That's where these challenges hit you, and that's what makes the sport so different, isn't it? You can be, well, dining at the top of the table, and before you know it, you're actually scrambling down the middle order, trying to get back up. Bang Shin-sil tees off for hole 13. She's carrying an even score here, as we can see. Gets a decent enough, well, bit of distance. She needed that. Well, she really has defined what golf is all about today, isn't it? You hit the rough patches and you just come out strong and smooth things over. Yoon Dae-yoon aiming for birdie on hole 18. She's got a 3 over score, 5.5 meters to cover. Will be a fine way to finish her day. And that's just a little bit too much of a push on that we'll see her scaling past the tin cup, and that too, she wasn't entirely well in line of the destination. Here's Kim Min-sun 7 teeing off for hole 13. She was going great guns for a bit, just got stalled in her performance. And she will sit there right on the border of the green. It's going to be a bit of work for her to see the tin cup, but I think she will work at it. Meanwhile, Hong Jun-min gets ready to tee off. Oh, well struck, well struck. And one thing I love about Hong Jun-min, doesn't put too much of body into it, but and that's, well, onto the beach for her. Bit of sun tanning here today. Does have a very, very strong wrist and forearms. It does rely heavily on her arms. If you notice, her body movement when actually teeing off, always the upper body remains more or less kind of fixed as compared to a lot of the other golfers. And that just shows the kind of power that she can drive through her forearms, and her wrist control is just fantastic. Here's Lee Chae-yoon. It's hole 13 for her. Remember, well, she's going to double bogey that, as it seems, and she will drop points. Bit unfortunate. because I think 4 under was a very good score to stay at. And that expression will say it all. She is disappointed, there's no doubt about it. Oh Yun Gun looking to finish with the birdie on hole 18. And once again, just a similar situation, just like her, well, group member. Choi Rim looking to finish with the birdie on hole 15. Bit of a dribbler from her. We'll just need a tap in to clean it up, and I don't think it's going to be too much of work. Well, there it is. Just looking back at a couple of the wins here this year, you know, Lee Vaughan winning 3 events. She won the Doosan Match Play on 18th May, NH Investment and Securities Ladies Championship on the 11th May, and then the Doosan ENC Weave Championship on 6th April. I was there for 2 of them. Here's Ko Ji-yu aiming for birdie on hole 13. And well done. Well played here by Ko Ji-yu. Park Bo-kyum started very well with the Blue Canyon Ladies Championship on the 16th of March by winning that, but since then she's kind of dipped out a bit. Kim Min-joo won the IM Financial Group Open on 13th April. And then, of course, Bong Shin-sil winning the Nexon St. Nine Masters on 20th April. Kim Min-sun winning the Dukshin EPC Championship on 27th April. And Hong Jun-min winning the Krias FNC KLPGA Championship on 4th May. Lee Chae-yun looking to double bogey this. And that'll drop her down to 2 under if she can keep steady here. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. One hole that can take all your points away. She's down to a 1 under after a triple bogey. Do feel awful for her. So Park Hyun-kyung won the E1 Charity Open on the 25th of May, and then Jeon Yoon-ji won the Suyuk Bank MBN Ladies Open on the 1st of June. Now here's Yoon Hai Rim aiming for birdie on hole 12. It's going to be a Cuban for her as well. A bit difficult, but a gentle tap, and that's all that's needed. So it's been a very interesting year, and you know, Jeong Yoon-ji, you know how she's performed has been quite well a story, but you know, 2 golfers that I love to watch, very different styles right out there at the top. Lee Ga-young and Lee Won at the end of round 1. Kim Min-sun 7, second stroke for hole 13. She's got herself onto the rough, but it's not too far from the destination, and I think that she could work towards that. Hong Jun-min on to her second stroke for hole 13. She's going to drift away onto the rough, and that's thankfully due to that slope there. It's kind of taken the ball or got it to carry a bit more than she would have liked. Third stroke for hole 18 for Han Jin-seon. Well played by her. Meanwhile, here's Bong Shin-sil aiming for her second stroke on hole 13. Remember, she brought herself back to an even score on hole 12. Going in with a power wedge to cover 107 meters. Fairly decent effort from her. So Lee Gaiyong and Lee Yvonne still there at the top, as you can see. Si Jiun, Hyo Da Bin, Kim Min Byul, Jung Yoon Ji. Jung Yoon Ji, of course, still very, very one of the big contenders here. Left to be seen how she can actually pull it together and whether she can scale to the top by the end of round 2. Don't go anywhere as we continue with our coverage of this beautiful event, which of course is at this beautiful golf course on this lovely sunny day. And it is the 2025 Queen's Masters Celltrion Open being played at the Seongwon Country Club. So don't go anywhere as our coverage continues. Absolutely marvelous finish here for Hwang Yumin on hole 14 as she earns a birdie, and a cheer from the audience as well. So needed. Kimminson 7 needs to get off the rough and into the tin cup on hole 13. Well, I think a bit of a Oh Min. She's on to her third stroke for hole 18, 22 meters to the hole. I do love that red, absolutely bright for a nice sunny day. Red and white, always a great combination. So many brands actually carry that color, isn't it? Meanwhile, here's Hong Jun Min. Third stroke for hole 13. Lee Chae-yoon, second stroke for hole 14. Ko Ji-yu next. Bang Shin-sil aiming for birdie on hole number 13. Oh So Min will aim for birdie on hole 18. Fair chance here of nailing it, and just a narrow miss as the ball just kisses the rim, and a fine finish. She'll have to settle for an even score. Nice finish. Very, very nice finish here. Kim Min-sun 7 will be happy. Here's Han Jin-seon aiming for birdie on hole number 18. Would be a good day to finish off this way. Just missing out on that effort there.
플레이하겠습니다.
아니요, 쓰고
Function Seoul teeing off for hole 14. Remember, she's down to, or she's up to an even score. Well, pulled herself back up, and she's done very well with that.
자, 플레이하겠습니다.
Meanwhile, here's Lee Chae-yoon. Just going past the destination, Lee Chae-yoon. Gentle tap in will do it. She's got a smile back on her face. Kim Min-sun 7, teeing off for hole 14. She'll be fairly satisfied with it.
자, 플레이하겠습니다.
Ko Ji-yu aiming for birdie on hole 14. Mara Song will aim for birdie on hole number 14. And that's well played. Took a bit of time and a bit of coaxing from the green, but it's finally found its way through, and I think she'll be pleased with that. Meanwhile, here's Ko Ji-yu looking to finish on par for hole 14. Lee Dong-gyun on to her third stroke for hole 17.
일로 빼니까.
일로 빼내도 이게 더 좋아. 이게 더 사고.
볼
이게
먼저,
나갈까?
볼 먼저 쳐야 될 것 같아.
그건 아는데.
나갈 것 같아. 볼 위로 딱 쳐버리면 그냥 나갈 것 같아. 58점. 이쪽은 나갈 수 있잖아. 반대 방향.
Second
먼저 투자.
stroke for hole 14, and Bangchan Sil has found herself in a very familiar spot once again.
네.
That's a bit unfortunate for her. She's been, well, getting herself not entirely into the woods, but very close to it.
그게 제일 잘 나갈 것 같아. 저한 클럽 쳐요.
Kim Min-sun 7, second stroke for hole 14. Bangchan Sil, second stroke for hole 14. As I said, a familiar position for her. Needs to get herself out of a spot of trouble, and I think this time she's done, fairly well to do that. I don't know how, but she's, hit that area twice on two different holes. Very unusual.
바람 쐬?
Yun, well, teeing off.
그냥 사이드 슬만 보면 돼.
Bangchan Sil, third stroke for hole 18. Well, not a bad way to, get started that hole-in-one event, hole number 15. As we can see, Lee Chae-yoon is onto it now. Always love to see a Mercedes-Benz there. But 15, hole number 15, par 3 for the asking, 135 meters to cover. Not a bad way to go. A fairly confident tee off here. Interesting to see how, Kim Min-sun 7 well navigates through the rest of the day. It's been had a few ups and downs. She's done fairly well to start off. Aims for birdie on hole number 14. Well, almost does it for her. Hong Jung-min up next. Narrow miss for her. Absolutely narrow miss. Quite interesting if you ask me. And we are going to see Hong Jun-min tomorrow as well. Now here's Lee Chae-yoon. And the second stroke for hole 15. Needs to finish this on par if she wants to keep that 1 under. She was at 4 under, just a while back. Bang Chen-sil looking to finish on par for hole 14. And she's done well here. We'll just get, a bit of a cheer from, the audience. Always love the look of this, course from a distance, from this drone cams. I always said this, great amount of appreciation for it. Now here goes Mada Som as she looks to finish on par for hole 15. It's been, no X factor involved in the last couple of holes for any of our golfers, and a dribbler from Mada Som. I think she would have definitely expected to do better than that. That's traveled a tad bit. Lee Chae-yoon has got to think this out very well, because the last thing she'd want to do is just jeopardize, her points. She's been in good stead so far, in the day. Looking to finish on par here for hole 15. And just scaling past, the destination. It's not looking good here for her, at least at this part. And she will have dropped points after that fantastic start to the day. So a bit troubling here for Lee Chae-yoon. Oh, that's a bit of hay mail on that. I don't think it's what she was expecting. Coach Yu needs to finish on par for hole 15. She's got to just pass the hole. Well played here. Coach Yu. She's really had to, work towards what she's done in the day, and will land up bogeying this one. Will go back up to a 1 over if she does on hole 14. Well, definitely not what the doctor ordered, but she'll have to. We'll just take it in. Function Sill teeing off for hole 15.
좀 넓게 치고 어차피 훅으로 오니까 흘러도
바람이? 아, 불러서?
흐르는 게 바람을 살짝 읽었으면 좋겠네.
진짜 안 넘어.
네.
Well played, I would believe. Well played. But sometimes you really want to try and figure out, well, what you can do. And Lee Chae-yun, I think, will be very keen on, well, trying to finish at least with an underscore at some part today. .48-degree wedge for Kim Min-sun 7 as she tees off for hole 15. Remember, it's the hole-in-one that we're talking about here. Oh, that's bang on. Well, if you were looking for a good moment, and here it is. Well, you definitely needed that. You needed to find a fine finish. Absolutely marvelous effort there. Hong Jun-min tees off for hole 15. Park Yeol onto her fourth stroke, hole number 9, aiming for birdie here. It's going to be a bit of a distance still from the tin cup. Just needed a bit more of a push. Here's Choi Rim. She aims for birdie on hole number 3. On hole number 17, sorry. I think just a bit impulsive with that effort. Choi Bom. And that's the fourth ball stroke. We'll have to finish on par here. .36 on the front, 35 on the back. Finishes with 1 under Choi Bom. So very mixed, day for most of our golfers here. Bangchan Sil aiming for birdie on hole number 15. It's a second stroke, and I think she will have to settle for an on-par finish. Lee Chae-yoon, second stroke for hole 16. Very eager to see how she finishes off in round one after she started off well. I had a slight dip in performance due to, well, just a few bad strokes, I do believe, or unfortunate strokes, to put it in a nice manner. Yes, Park Joo-young will aim for birdie on hole 18. She's silently gone about her business, has done fairly well, sits with a 2 under score, 10.2 meters to cover. Will be a great finish if she can nail this. Well, just a narrow miss here for Park Joo-young. Kim Min-sun 7 aiming for birdie on hole 15. And I think Park Joo-young will finish with an even score. It's been an interesting day for her. She scored 35 on the back and 35 on the front buzzard, as well as 3 birdies in there. So not a bad finish for her. She finishes with a 2 under score. Meanwhile, here's Hong Jun-min. Aiming for birdie on hole 15. Ko Ji-yu, second stroke on hole 16. Not the best effort from her, and she's had a few worries in that sense. She's had a few, strokes that have gone the wrong way, not as she intended. Meanwhile, here's Lee Dong-gyun. We've had our eyes on her as well, looking to finish with a birdie on hole 18. It'll be a fine way to end round one for her. Just a narrow miss for her. Beautiful, well, overhead shot, drone shot of the course. You can see, the different holes, as well as, the fairways very clearly, and that I was talking about hole number 9, those steps that lead all the way down, absolutely wonderful. I do love the way it's structured, and the tee-off points are, in layers. But here we go with hole number 16. It's a par 5 for the asking, and it's Bangchan Sil will get ready to do the needful. Tees off. 498 meters to cover. She's on an even score still. Lee Dong-gyun. Finishes on par. And she has 37 on the front, 34 on the back, had a buzzard on the, well front as well. I don't think she'll be too displeased with the performance. We will see her back, tomorrow. It'll be interesting. Another lovely golfer to watch. As I said, always a very serious, very sincere kind of disposition on the golf course. Here's Kim Minson, 7. As she tees off for hole 16. She's got a 1 under currently. Once again, 498 meters is what we're looking at. Yu Hyun Jo. Second stroke for hole number 17. Oh, that just slipped out. What a stunning effort. What an absolutely stunning effort. And she knows it too. That would have been such an amazing moment for her. One to cherish. Was so expecting that ball to find its way in. Well, it's over to Hong Junmin as she tees off for hole 16. She's carrying a 1 over score. Lee Ga-yong, Lee Won, still occupying that top spot with, Seo Ji-yoon, Hyo Da-bin, Kim Min-byul, Jung Yoon-ji, and Lim Hee-jong sitting in tied, third. It's been a very interesting, day, as I said. Park Hyun-kyung and Hyun Se-lin are in tied 15 with Choi Hai-won, Yoon Soo-ah, Park Hae-jun, Yoon Hai-rim, Jung Ji-yo, and Han Jin-seon with 4 under are in tied 8th. So interesting as we continue with our coverage of this wonderful event, of course, which has started off so well. It's been a very pleasant day, absolutely marvelous. The golfers have really had battles, not against each other, but with themselves as always. And it's interesting to see how they, finish at the end of the day. So the 2025 Queen's Masters Celltrion Championship continues right here at the Seongmunan Golf Course. Don't go anywhere, as there's still lots more to come in. Third stroke for hole 16, and lovely approach shot from Lee Chae-yoon. Just, looks like she's sparking a comeback here, which is a good thing. Up next, it's Ko Ji-yu, her third stroke for hole number 16 as well. Started off the morning in a fairly positive manner, Ko Ji-yu, and then of course went through the motions a couple of times over. Since then she's changed things around, and I do believe there's a lot that she can expect from round 2 as well, if she can stick around for it. But here's Yoon Hai Rim onto a second stroke for hole 15. Needs to get onto the green and close to the flagstick. Well, fairly placed if you ask me.
나이스.
Oh, that's a fine finish. That is a fine finish,
나이스.
and just what was needed. Lee Chae-yoon aiming for birdie on hole number 16, sorry. Always falling for the faux part. Quite a distance from her, but if she can overcome this, and well. And a Cuban for her. I think she was so close to, well, finding the destination. And she'll tap that in, so not a worry for her this time.
여기다 바꿨지.
Kimminson 7, second stroke for hole 16. Ko Ji-yu aiming for birdie on hole 16 as well. Oh, well done there. And a bit of joy here for Ko Ji-yu after what you'd have called a very trying day as well. I do love her outfit. Very, very smart. It's almost like saying smart casual for the day, but she's got the shots on, but really nicely done. Choi Rim onto her third stroke for hole 18. She's got a 3 under, as we can see. Oh, that is absolutely stunning placement from her. Very, very well done by Choi Rim. Hong Jun Min, second stroke for hole 16, looking to cover 205 meters. Meanwhile, it's back to Bang Shin-sil, who has been our golfer and focus for more reasons than one today. Onto a second stroke for hole 16. She'll be very keen to finish with an underscore at the end of the day. Looks like she just might have hit the beach. We'll find out in a bit. Had a few misguided strokes today that have gone, into areas that you wouldn't have liked them to. Joy Rim finishes with the birdie there and she's got 34 on the front, 34 on the back, 4 under. Very, very nice score. She'll be, looking forward to round 2. So very good performance from Choi Rim today. Yes, Lee Chae-yoon. Second stroke for hole 17. 147 meters to cover. She's using a 5-iron. She's got herself onto the green. I think Kim Min-sun 7 has also had her eventful day. I looked to have been going great guns for some time before she just about paused with that progress. But having said that, she's another championship golfer. Has had her days and then some more. And Bang Shin-sil once again finds herself in a bit of a spot, but not something that she can't get out of. Third stroke for hole 16. She's put it a bit at a distance from the tin cup. Koji Yu also looking to get out of the cat box. And Hong Jun-min. Everyone taking a break on the beach today. Well, just pun intended. Han Jin-seon has had a rather trying day, ups and downs there today. That's straight on to, the green once again. As the golfers will get through the sunny spots, as you can see, it was blazing a while back, just a little bit easier as of now. Kim Min-sun 7 will aim for birdie on hole 16. Just falling shy of the destination. That's not going to bother her too much. Well, almost does it, you would believe. Long Sill, chance for a birdie on hole 16. Remember, there's a lot of wind. And she's just about missed it. Very good opportunity to have nailed it, but you can see that, well, flag. Well, it was doing the salsa a while back. Now it's, well, moved into a bit of, well, underground hip-hop. Because it's been swaying in every direction possible. Yes, Hong Chun-min. She's aiming for birdie on hole 16. Strong push from her. It's still a tad bit of a distance from the tin cup. Shouldn't be too difficult to just clean this up quickly and move on to the next hole. And that's exactly what she does. Kim Min Sun, 7, and that's an easy tuck in for her. That's exactly what she needed. Park Bo Kyung, third stroke for hole 18. Did not put too much of thought into that, and I think, well, she's just sitting outside the green, so that's not going to be a bother for her. She's had a mixed bag as well, Park Bo Kyung, there's no doubt about it. Han Jin Seon. It's hole number 4. We'll aim for birdie here. And that's just going to be a, well, I would say a slight wasted opportunity, and well, she knows it. She's just going to take that into a stride. Wang Yu Min on her 18th hole, mixed bag for her too today, third stroke. She's carrying a 1 over score. Third stroke for hole 17, Lee Chae-yoon. She's narrowly missed out on a birdie. Very good opportunity here for her. Oh, well placed. Very, very well placed. Meanwhile, Ko Ji-yu looks to finish with an even score for hole 17, and yes, she does. I think she'll be pleased about that. Kim Min-sun 7. Teeing off for hole number 17. Well struck. Well, pretty much getting towards the end of action for most of the golfers that have been in focus. Do keep in mind the fact that we are the Seongmunan golf course, where it's been a very interesting day for us. And our golfers have had, their fair, share of, trials. Having said that, tomorrow it'll be an entirely different day depending on the weather conditions. I don't think rain should, play a part in these parts, because it's been fairly easy. Nicely done here. So Lee Gaeong still there at the top, with that 6 under, tied with Lee Yvonne, and they had a very good start to the day. They set the tone literally. Both finished with 66, points, and then in the tied third, you've got a whole lot of golfers in there, along with the tied 8th, where you've still got, Yoon Hai Rim, Jung Ji-yo, and Han Ji-yeon, who are still, are putting their efforts forward. So the action continues right here, or the event continues. Did I say action? Well, in a way, yes. But, we've still got a few more, holes to get through, and we've still got a few golfers to find what their positions are going to be and how. Now, remember, a lot of the golfers, of course, today who have performed will be back in round 2, and the rest will get trimmed off, all depending on what the score is and where you stand. Kim Min-sun on hole 17. Her second stroke. Han Jun-seon up next. Second stroke for hole 5. Here's Ko Ji-yu up next. Our second stroke for hole 18. Well, let's remind you very quickly that this event, of course, was won last year by Park Min-ji, with Choi Yi-rim finishing second. She's still in the running, and Lee Jae-yong finishing third. Wang Yu-min, and she's missed a putt as well. Well, very clearly put, a lot of our golfers have really faltered on the green in the afternoon session. It's been a bit disheartening for them as well. 38 on the out, 35 on the in, and she finishes with 1 over. Wang Yu-min, I don't think she's too thrilled about her performance, but it is what it is. Yoo Hyun-jo aiming for birdie on hole number 18. And Yoo Hyun-jo has 35 on the out, 34 on the in. She finishes with 3 under. It's been a good performance from her. She almost had an eagle, almost had one. Park Bo-kyum up next to finish off her day's event with an even score. And I think that'll just be good enough to satisfy her. Wasn't too difficult to tuck that in. She's had 36 on the out, 35 on the in, and a 1 under to finish with. Well, did have, bogeys in there as well. So, once again, let me remind you that this is the 2025 Celltrion Queen's Masters being played at the Seongmunan Country Club in Wolseong-ri, Wyeonju, Korea Republic. Lee Chae-yoon onto a second stroke for hole 18. And just in case you didn't know this well, the course is located in Wolseong-ri, which is really it has a lot of energy, a lot of clean pine trees, and the name Seongmunan comes from the original name of the area. Seongmun means a castle gate in English, and was originated from the fact that 2 huge rock walls similar to that with a gate protected the village back then. Seongmunan means village protected by the rock wall. So Seongmunan Country Club, which is operated by the HTC Resort that is in charge of a whole lot of other massive courses, has been listed as one of the top 10 Korean golf courses. And this was last year. Very good for a course that opened up in 2022. Meteoric rise, if you ask me. Bang Chin-sil. It's hole 17 for her third stroke. Kim Min-sun, 7 up next. Well, the total prize money of this event is pretty huge. It's about $885,334 US dollars. The main prize winner will get 216 million Korean won, 159,360 US dollars. Lee Chae-yoon, third stroke for hole 18. Oh, that's well done. Absolutely well done by Lee Chae-yoon. Will be a fine way to finish the day if she can clean it up with the birdie. Now, the runner-up in this event will get 132 million Korean won, or that's 97,386 US dollars, and second runner-up finishes with 96 million Korean won, or 70,826 US dollars. Kim Min-sun, 7, looking for a birdie here on hole 17, and that's kind of just changed course. It's going to be a bit tough for her. I think didn't gauge that slope and also the wind carrying that ball through a little bit. Yes, Koji Yu. Koji Yu. A third. Well stroke. Hong Jun-min aiming for birdie on hole 17. And that's well done. That fist pump will tell us a little bit. Well, the country club, the Seongmunan Country Club course was designed by Ro Jun-taek, the CEO of Loga ENG, and has a strategic course, beautiful landscapes as we saw, lovely topography. It also uses vent grass and a double lawn. It was planted throughout the fairway to create a soft shot. It provides a tee off every 10 minutes. There's also, if you ever want to come and play around here, there's free valet services and eco-friendly amenities. The clubhouse used nature as an architectural element, and that's very interesting, this clubhouse. Modern architectural beauty, interior design, a lot of artworks, exotic rock gardens, and the panoramic rooftop trail. It has an Italian restaurant called Fioretto, and I'm definitely going to be going there. And it has a start house restaurant dedicated to the golfers. And golfers, local residents, and travelers love this place. So very, very interesting. The clubhouse, of course, has received great attention. It won the Domestic and Foreign Architecture Award, and it's been attracting a lot of attention in the industry, not only in the architectural and construction industry. So very interesting place to be at, if you ask me. needed a good finish on this. And I think it can be a bit of a bother. But Mara Som has also had her, well, troubling day, missed out on so many putts here, but she's finished with 38 on the out, 35 on the front. I had a, double, she had an eagle in there as well, but she's finished with the 1 over, thanks to a few bogeys. Kim Min-sun 7. She's on to teeing off for hole 18. Ko Ji-yu looking to finish well her event. And she'd be glad to get that over with. Meanwhile, Lee Chae-yoon, who's had a very interesting day, will aim for birdie on hole 18. And she knows it. That expression says it all. Just one of those days. She'll be glad to get that done with 32 on the out, 40 on the in, and that was undoing with that hole 13 being terrible. So I think she'll still be pleased that she navigated through troubled waters.
재밌는 날이었어. 나중에 지금 셋다.
So the sun, of course, dipping. You can see those shadows, as well they start appearing. The sky is, of course, getting just a little bit darker. Well, this is the kind of situation I think they would have most, wanted. Hong Jun-min doing fairly well. She would have liked her performance to have been a lot better today, but she's had her moments.
지금은 11시야.
Kim Min-sun 7 needs to get out of the beach here on hole 18. It's a second stroke. Yun Hai Rim will aim for birdie on hole number 17. Oh, zoom in. Lovely placement from her, onto the green. Han Jin-seon gets ready to tee off for hole number 6. She's got a 4 under. She'll be pleased as punch with that if she can hold on to that well score. Kim Min-sun 7. Hong Jun-min, always a delight to watch her. She's always been, one of those golfers who has such great temperament on the golf course, and well, even in victory or in defeat, she's always got that same temperament, and that's really something else when you think about it. Very, very mature. Third stroke for hole 18 for her. Fairly well struck. So Bangchan Sills also lived through the motions today. Han Jin-seon will aim for birdie on hole 6, needs to navigate that with a banana effort, and I think that's just been a bit too much of a steep curve. She'll finish with an even score on that one. Also Min aiming for birdie on hole 6. I did mention how I love that red and white. And that's well done. That's slipped in actually. Very well done. Also Min finishing with a birdie here. Trouble times here for well, Kim Min-sun 7. So with the colors dipping and the sun of course dipping out, those greens just coming out a lot more, looks absolutely beautiful. I mean the color green of course and the shades of green that we are looking at. Now this one of course I think did sail out of bounds for Kim Min-sun. She would have a stroke penalty on this. Did go down that slope and into the thicket, into the forest there. As you can see, it was beyond the fence. So I do believe she will have a stroke penalty here. There's no doubt about it. Fifth stroke on hole 18. She will drop points here. That's going to be a bit unfortunate for Kim Min-sun. I think just a bit too much of club on that. I don't think that's exactly what she would have envisioned, you know, so interesting. Bang Chun-sil aiming for birdie on hole 18, and oh, that is, well, that's pretty much, I think, a lot for her to handle. She really, well, took everything in a stride, but really trying time for her even right there at the end. 37 on the out, 35 on the front. I think she's fortunate to have finished with an even score. Had 3 birdies, a buzzard, and a bogey in there. I think that's been really her undoing. But otherwise, it was a great performance from her. She really came back, and that buzzard, of course, was on hole 9. It was absolutely a trying hole for her. So very interesting how Bangchan Sills actually absorbed it all and got on with her round 1. I'm sure she'll be happy to get back and to rethink her steps for tomorrow's event. Kim Min-sun 7. Will probably land up, bogeying this. Oh, that was so close. I wish for her would have gone just a little bit further. I'm going to say this in a very blunt manner, but Kim Min-sun 7, of course, finishing with 35 on the out, 38 on the front, finishes with +1 after a buzzer on that last, hole. She wasn't really expecting that, but neither were we. But having said that, most of her golfers today have had a very interesting start. The Dawnbreakers had a good run. We saw Lee Ga-yong and Lee Won have finished at the top. They've remained untouched with that 6 score in tied first. And then, of course, in the latter part of the day, those that came in the late morning, especially those that came in the afternoon session, I do believe they've gone through the motions. It hasn't been a great outing for them. 80 or 85% of them have actually missed their putts. And that's kind of unusual in weather like this. Could be the wind conditions, could just be the golfers themselves, but looking to finish on par here is Hong Jun Min, and it'll be a good way to end the day for her. I do believe she too went through the motions. 35 on the out, 37 on the in, has had 3 bogeys, a couple of birdies in there, finishes with an even score. So pretty much coming to the end, of the day's event. And here we have it, a final look at, how things have transpired out here. Let's look at the 3rd hole. And that was Seo Ji-yoon. And then aiming for birdie there was Kim So-yeon. Then on that 2nd hole, it was very interesting. As Yoon Ji-young continued with her efforts. She was at in tied 6th at the time and moved up into tied 2nd. Lee Won, just showing us her skill there. And then on the 4th hole, Lim Hee-jung. Then on the 3rd hole, aiming for birdie was Park Min-ji. It's all smiles for her. It was a fine event that we saw. And then on the 6th hole, Lee Ga-yong nailed it with a birdie extremely well. Also on the 6th hole, Lee Won. She was really at her finest today, Lee Won. Then on the 8th hole, where she was the joint leader, Lim Hee-jung with that 5-under score. You had so many up there in that with the 5-under. It was a sextet of golfers. And Lim Hee-jung, well, doing well to move up in the top position. On the 18th hole, Lim Hee-jung, who was right there at the top. And she finished with a 5 well under. Lee Ga-yong on the 9th hole. She was in tied second. Then on the 8th hole, Jung Yoon-ji. That was a picture perfect finish with that drive. Her follow through, I meant. Then on the 9th hole, Lim Hee-jung, and she missed out there. She was in tied first, remember. Dropped into, well, second position with 5 under. But here, Lee Won just shining as she claimed the top spot, went up into tied first along with Lee Ga-yong. Absolutely superb performance from her as always, and her trademark smile. So that was pretty much it. Lee Ga-yong and Lee Won finishing at the top with 6 under. Seo Ji-yoon, Hyo Da-bin, Kim Min-byul, Jung Yoon-ji and Lim Hee-jung, of course, with 5 under in that tied third position. In tied 8th, you've got a whole lot of contenders, including Choi Hee-rom, who is kind of leading the way. It's been a very, very interesting day for us in the 2025 Celltrion Queen's Masters, being played at the Seong Munan Country Club. Let me remind you that we were coming at you live from this region of Wolseong-ri, Gyeongju, South Korea Republic, and I do hope that you've enjoyed our coverage of this event. Very interesting day. So many golfers missing their putts, but so many golfers still staying in the game. So let's find out what happens in round 2. My name is Glenn Mascarenhas. It is time for me to shut shop and ship out of here, but I'll be back with you tomorrow right at the noon session, and we'll take you all the way through till the end of round 2, and then of course for the finale as well. Thank you so much for joining us. See you tomorrow.